Neighbors demand action on a fire-damaged home. Signs going up in a villa community after new residence takes over guest parking. Waffle House opens up a new restaurant that's golf cart accessible. Villager's son is ordered into evaluation after crashing into a power pole. John Rohan causes a revolt over water volleyball scheduling. Officials worried about apartment dwellers using amenities in the villages. 400 more lots approved in Middleton for building. Villager riding a bicycle on 466 gets nabbed with drug paraphernalia. How many holes in ones of golf did we get this week? Letters to the editor. This and more coming up. Hello everybody, and welcome to this Friday's The Village's News Updated. I'm going to cut this pretty quick because I think I'm not going to be here, so I'm trying to give you something on Fridays. So this news is going to probably be short and quick and the best we can do. As home construction continues steadily in the villages of Southern Oak, Wildwood Commission's Monday night approved final plats for 6 more subdivisions totaling about 400 lots in the Middleton and Central Parkway area. Middleton is the new family area of the villages and home to the new Villages Charter School campus. Businesses bustling at Middleton. The plats do not show amenities such as golf courses, pools, and postal stations. A total of 95 lots are planned south of McNeil Drive and west of Marshman Trail along streets such as Little John Loop, Maddox Place, and Craig Court. I get a map of the area right there. I'll put it right back here for you to see. Study it. About a quarter mile south of McNeil Drive and Corbin Trail, another 40 lots are planned on streets to be named Dela Drive and Jowers Court. Middleton Unit 7, southeast of Landstone Boulevard, will have 109 lots on streets that include Drass Lane and Costa Place. 2 subdivisions will be north of Central Parkway, about a half mile east of Marshman Trail. They include 50 lots on Aiden Avenue and Solik Place, as well as 57 lots of Vermeulen Way and Littleton Lane. Across Corbin Trail, a 50-lot subdivision is planned about a half mile south of McNeil Drive, with streets including Pratt Path and Founda Place. I gotta tell you, some of these names of these streets they got around here must be a favor they're paying somebody because they're stupid. Neighbors are angry over the lack of action at a fire-damaged home in the villages. Community Development District 9 Board of Supervisors on Thursday heard from frustrated residents upset about the apparent inaction at a burned-out home at 3292 Silewood Avenue in the village of Charlotte. The board met at Seabreeze Rec Center with numerous residents from the neighborhood in attendance. The home was heavily damaged by a fire in December 2023. The owner sold the home to Home Investment Works Solutions LLC of Widmer. Very little work has been done at the home since the fire, according to the neighborhood. We are being asked to maintain our properties. This is harming our property values. The property is not secured. We are lucky that we don't have squatters or animals in there. We keep up our properties. Our lawns are mowed. Our bushes are trimmed. But with this house, nothing is being done, said Linda Comer, who lives nearby. Investment Solutions LLC has already been found in violation of the deed restrictions and being fined $50 per day. However, the fines have not prompted any actions. This has been going on far too long. $50 a day doesn't cut it. This guy doesn't care, said neighbor David Magistro. After hearing from residents, the board agreed to direct counsel to file a lawsuit against the homeowner in an effort to force him to bring the home into compliance by repairing the fire damage. The 5-0 vote by the board prompted a round of applause from the audience. Well, good Lord, it's been 2 years. It's about time I do something. Signs are going up in a villa community in the villages after new residents took over the guest parking spots. Shame on you. The Community Development District 5 Board of Supervisors on Friday agreed to put up signs in the Azale Villas in the village of Bonnybrook. The board agreed to put up the signs after a complaint from a resident. We have 4 guest parking spots. Those who have been here for a while know that. However, new persons who move into the houses next to them consider them to be additional parking spaces for their use, even though many of us have explained that they are guests, Charles Moores told the board. He asked that signage be put up to make the rule clear to the newbies. The signs will read temporary parking for owners, invitees, and guests only. A New York snowbird wintering in the Villages has been arrested on a drunk driving charge. Christopher Dover, 63, who listed an address in the village of Finney, was driving a gray Kia Sorento at 9:42 p.m. Monday, traveling south on US 301 near Warm Springs Avenue when the Sumter County Sheriff's deputy noticed the vehicle, which had a Florida license plate, had no visible taillights. During a traffic stop, a deputy approached Dover, who was sluggish and slow to respond, according to the arrest report. Dover was identified by his New York driver's license. Dover's speech was slurred. The deputy noticed 3 Corona beer caps in the center console of the vehicle. Dover agreed to participate in field sobriety exercises, but his poor performance led the deputy to conclude that Dover had been driving impaired. He provided breath samples that registered .176 and .173 blood alcohol content. During an inventory of Dover's vehicle prior to towing, a deputy found multiple open containers. Dover was arrested on charges of driving under the influence and ticketed for an open container violation. He was booked at the Sumter County Detention Center on a $500 bond. Officials are expressing concerns about a proliferation of towering apartment buildings around the Villages and are worried the apartment dwellers might be using amenities in Florida's friendliest hometown. Well, where were you guys at when I was complaining about this years ago when I did videos on it talking about the invasion of villages here in Florida? Nobody seemed to care then, so why are you caring now? Community Development District 6 Supervisor Peter Mueller expressed his concerns during a meeting Monday of the Project-Wide Advisory Committee at Seabreeze Rec Center. He pointed out that the apartment buildings are sprouting up in a large numbers around the villages. He joked that the villages could be at risk for a non-resident invasion. Mueller, a resident of the village of Caroline, proposed a study to look at ways to ensure that the people in the pools and on the pickleball courts are residents or guests of residents. We all want to protect our amenities, Mueller said. Do we? Really? Do we really? Community Development District 10 Supervisor Steve Bova echoed Mueller's concerns. It is unbelievable the number of people that are surrounding us, Bova said. He said the Lakewood Ranch Retirement Community near Sarasota uses a key card system that unlocks a gate to use pools and other amenities. I've been to retirement communities where they use a fingerprint system. You go to register your fingerprint, and that way when you go to any place, you don't need any of these people here working, really. You go to any of these places in order to get in, fingerprint. Now, that can be violated because somebody can take somebody that's a non-resident, and they know it, use their fingerprint to open the gate, hold the gate open, and let somebody in that doesn't belong there. So there's always something. Do you think adequate protections are in places to keep residents outside from accessing amenities in the villages? If so, leave a comment below. If not, leave a comment below. This is going to be a subject that is going to affect everybody here, especially as our amenity rates, our maintenance rates keep going up. People that don't live here aren't paying anything, and they're using this stuff. They say that it's not happening. Rohan will tell you it's not happening, and we all know that's an out-and-out lie. A villager was arrested on a drunk driving charge after she was found passed out in a golf cart. Mona Bass Smith, 69, of the village of St. John's, was found at about 2:30 a.m. Monday, unresponsive in a red Yamaha golf cart in the middle of a golf cart lane at McGlynn Lane and Kelvington Road in the village of Pollier, according to the arrest report of the Sumter County's Sheriff's Office. She was spotted by a community watch driver who went up to the golf cart to check on the driver. The community watch driver could smell the odor of alcohol, took the key from the golf cart, and called law enforcement. Deputies and EMS responded to the scene. Smith told them she is a type 1 diabetic. She was transported to the UF Health emergency room at Brownwood. She admitted she consumed 5 shots of vodka. Her eyes were bloodshot and glassy. Brown was taken to the ER at about 3 a.m. and released at about 6:30 a.m. After her release from the ER, Smith consented to a breath test, providing samples that registered 1.39 and 1.38 blood alcohol content. And this was after she spent 3 hours in the emergency room? Smith was arrested on a charge of driving under the influence. She was booked at the Sumter County Detention Center and released after posting a $500 bond. You know, that's the one thing as a Teamster that we were educated on constantly during Teamster union meetings. Whether you're a union member or not, or believe it or not, has nothing to do with what I'm telling you. They held up a court jar. This was a lawyer for the Teamsters that was showing us the little alcohol it takes to be declared as a drunk driver. Now, keep in mind, if you're a CDL holder, our rate of consumption is half of what it is in your state. So in most states, it's 0.8, right? 0.08 alcohol. Well, for a CDL holder, it's 0.04, and that's where you get nabbed. He holds up a quart jar of pennies, nothing but pennies in there. And in his left hand, he had a dime. He said the pennies are the blood inside your body. This dime is the alcohol. He drops the dime in that quart jar of pennies. He said, "Are you legally drunk?" And we're looking at that, we're going, well, no. Yes, you are. That's how little it takes for us, for the CDL holders. Sumter County Commissioners Tuesday night approved a 50% pay increase for members of the North Sumter County Utility Dependent District. 7 district board members each will receive stipends of $300 per meeting, up to a maximum of $7,200 a year. For 15 years since the district's creation in 2010, members received $200 per meeting, up to $4,800 a year. A low-profile district provides water, wastewater, irrigation, and garbage collection services to a substantial chunk of the villages between County Road 466 and State Road 44. That would include District 10. As a dependent district, it is subject to county oversight. Board member Dan Warren told commissioners that the district's annual budget is $77 million. Money for the stipends and the increase comes from district revenue and not county property tax. County Administrator Bradley Arnold said the district was created in response to scrutiny of Florida's community development districts by the Internal Revenue Service under the Obama administration. County Chairman Don Wiley said he can appreciate the district's workload after serving 7 years on the Community Development District Board. Richard Radmaker, the district's board chairman, requested the increase in a February 11 letter to Arnold. Not only are our board meetings taking longer to cover the additional operations, but the review before the meeting of the detailed agenda presented to board members is taking longer, he wrote. I'm not sure if that's a voluntary position or not, and if it is a voluntary position, you know what it was before you went in there. You'll have to Google that, because I don't know. An unlicensed Guatemalan in a pickup truck was arrested near the Eastport construction area. Ronald Ramirez Lucas, 27, was driving a white truck at about 3 p.m. Tuesday in the vicinity of Central Parkway and Bexley Trail when an officer noticed that the vehicle had a cracked windshield, according to the arrest report of the Wildwood Police Department. During a traffic stop, Ramirez Lucas admitted he did not have a driver's license and handed the officer an identification card from Guatemala. The officer ran a check and confirmed that Ramirez Lucas has never had been issued a driver's license in the United States. He was arrested on a charge of driving without a license. He was also issued a warning for the cracked windshield. He was booked at the Sumter County Detention Center and released after posting a $150 bond. I don't understand that at all. A villager was arrested with drug paraphernalia in his pocket after being stopped on a bicycle for riding against the flow of traffic. An officer noticed a bicyclist later identified as 61-year-old James Wallace of the village of Rio Ponderosa, heading west in the eastbound lane up County Road 466 around 10:20 p.m. March 19th, according to the arrest report of the Lady Lake Police Department. The officer conducted a traffic stop on Wallace for traveling against the flow of traffic and not having a red light that could be seen within 500 feet of the rear of the bicycle. Wallace was identified using his Florida identification card, and a check of this information revealed that he had an active Marion County warrant for retail theft, second subsequent offense. He was subsequently placed under arrest. As Wallace was being handcuffed, he reached into his front pant pocket, pulled out a glass stem and razor blade, and dropped them to the ground. The glass stem contained a black to dark brown residue that faded to white as it reached the tip of the stem, which was consistent with narcotics use. The residue tested positive for fentanyl, report said. Wallace was charged with possession of paraphernalia and transported to the Lake County Jail. Bond was set at $3,000. He has been arrested many times in the past, including January 18 for trying to load up on chips and beer at Walmart, December 2018 for another Walmart theft, January 2023 for drug-fueled shoplifting incidents, and November 2023 for violating his probation. I thought he looked familiar. A villager's son has been ordered to seek a substance abuse evaluation after crashing into a power pole while he was armed with a gun. Timothy Harold Barnhorst, 52, who lives with his mother at 1107 Sale Street in the village of Virginia Trace, will be monitored under the Community Control Program for 1.5 years as a result of a sentencing hearing this past week in Marion County Court. He has also been ordered to seek a substance abuse evaluation and follow any recommended treatment. He was given credit for 5 days already served in jail. Barnhorst was involved in a crash in the wee hours October 17 when his white Infiniti knocked over a power pole in Summerfield, according to the arrest report of Marion County Sheriff's Office. A witness heard the crash and saw Barnhorst throw something over the fence. He fled the scene. The deputy investigating the accident scene found and recovered a black Hi-Point C9 handgun, thanks to the help from the witness. The deputy also found a bag containing a substance later identified as methamphetamine. Barnhorst returned to the scene of the crash and claimed he was looking for a gold necklace. The deputy determined that Barnhorst had been driving on a suspended license and is also a convicted felon. He was previously convicted of burglary in Marion County. A son visiting his parents in the village has turned violent when his parents confronted him about employment and financial issues. Jacob Wassey, 28 of St. Petersburg, was at the home of his parents in the village of Marsh Bend on Tuesday when they tried to talk to him about employment and money matters, according to the arrest report of the Wildwood Police Department. What? Mommy's boy's going to have to get a job? What? The native New Yorker became enraged and sipped 3/4 of a bottle of vodka. As he seethed, he headbutted a wall in the living room, leaving a sizable hole. He also punched a hole in a bedroom wall. Boy, you need to get out of here and go make a life for yourself and quit bothering your parents with your stupidness. His mother dumped out the remaining vodka. In his violent tirade, Wassey slapped his mother on her upper left arm, leaving an imprint of his hand. Wassey repeatedly poked his father and put him in a headlock. The parents told police that Wassey has a history of violent behavior when intoxicated, and yet you let him move into your house in a retirement community. Last year, Wassey filed a lawsuit in Pinellas County Court seeking $50,000 in damages against Flagler Point Apartments GP LLC in St. Petersburg. He claimed his apartment's kitchen and bathroom flooded. Wassey said in the lawsuit he suffered physical injuries affecting his body and extremities, leading to pain, medical expenses, mental anguish, physical handicap, loss of earnings and earning capacity, loss of enjoyment of life, and aggravation of pre-existing conditions. Gee, what attorney sets you up with all that? I mean, people will come up with all kinds of crap to keep from working. The arrest report indicated he is still living at the apartment complex. However, in February, the apartment complex began the eviction process of Wassey. Court documents indicated the apartment complex owner claimed Wassey was behind on his rent by $2,448. In his Lincoln professional account, Wassey bills himself as a scientific communications and sales strategist. Motivated and results-driven professional with a diverse background in his healthcare industry, laboratory management, and sales, seeking challenging role as a chemical analysis, proven success in B2B sales, quality control, operations, and clinical settings, possess excellent communications network and analytical skills to drive business growth and foster lasting client relationship. He describes himself on LinkedIn. Wow. But he can't control his temper. The account also indicates he attended State University of New York College at Plattsburgh, as well as Albany College of Pharmacy and Health Science. His employment history shows stints as a pharmacy technician at CVS and Walmart. After the violation altercation at his parents' home, Wassey was arrested on multiple counts of battery. He was booked at the Sumter County Detention Center on a $12,000 bond. Only thing I'm going to say in seriousness, he's been to college. He's had a good job at CVS and Walmart as a pharmacy technician. He can earn a living on his own. Why he doesn't is because the parents, I hate to say it again, they're enablers. Water volleyball players have revolted over proposed schedule changes set to take place April 1. The project-wide advisory committee was faced with an overflow room of angry water volleyball players Monday morning during the budget workshop at Seabreeze Recreation Center. The conflict has pitted the group volleyball players against the division players, who both want the coveted 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. playing spot at sports pools. Division players complain that they have endured the eye-rolling of group players who have deemed they are not good enough to play with them. The division-level players claim the group players are cliquish and snobby. Division players said that they offer a system in which everyone is welcome. I can tell you, and Sue mentioned it on Port Sutton, and this is true, that there's a lot of clubs around here, a lot. They're very cliquish. They take things way too serious. You'll run into this. However, at the PWAC meeting, division players were clearly outnumbered by the angry group players. Sheila Reynolds said she and her husband left a retirement community in Arizona to move to the Villages. She said they had to fight for pool time at the retirement community in Arizona. For years, she considered the Villages much more accommodating than the Arizona retirement community she left behind until now. Reynolds accused the division players of pressuring the recreation department to give them the coveted 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. slots now enjoyed by the group players. I say, who was there first? Very simple with me. First come, first get. Reynolds and others said giving the prime slots to division players doesn't make sense since the division players can barely fill the pool. Everyone is leaving division for group play, Reynolds told PWAC members over the overseas amenities south of County Road 466. Recreation Director John Rohan defended the new summer schedule and said his department tries to meet the needs of all the residents who want to use the sports pools in the Villages. Go ahead, John. Baffle their shit again. There are lots of different programs that are scheduled at these pools, Rohan said. We tried to balance to some degree utilization of these pools. He said that group players do not lose any hours, although admitted some of the slots were shifted. Manny Miller of the village of Collier is a pool ambassador at the Rohan Sports Pool. He said that Recreation Department apparently did not consider the mammoth traffic problem at State Road 44 and Morse Boulevard when making the schedule change at his pool. He said moving the group play water volleyballers from the 11 a.m. to the 1 p.m. slot on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday to the 3 to 5 p.m. slot on those days will worsen the delay 5 p.m. backup experience at the roundabout near the Rohan Rec Center. As you know, the intersection is horrible. He said adding 84 water volleyball players to the mix several times per week will make it even worse. Wait until they open that Walmart, he added. Jack Matakansky said water volleyball players were blindsided when the summer schedule was rolled out by the Recreation Department. What happened with John Rohan? There was no explanation other than pure vindictiveness, Matakansky said. Well, I can't believe that. A new Waffle House restaurant has opened near the Villages. Is it golf cart accessible? That's all I want to know. Waffle House, newest restaurant in Florida, is located at 9702 Northeast 136th Avenue near the Lowe's Home Improvement Store and BJ's Wholesale Club in the Sumter County portion of Lady Lake. Waffle House, with more than 2,000 locations throughout the southern United States, is known for its classic American breakfast offerings such as waffles, pancakes, and other large breakfast platters. Waffle House is famous for being open 24 hours a day, and this location will be open for those hours in the near future while staff is recruited. Temporary hours are from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. The new Waffle House is golf cart accessible from the Villages. All right. The Waffle House chain is founded in Avondale Estates, Georgia in 1955 by Joe Rogers and Tom Forker. Forker. The chain has been so successful in staying open, even during hurricanes and other natural disasters, that the Federal Emergency Management Agency has developed as a measure of disaster recovery what they call the Waffle House Index. They do. I didn't know about this until the last hurricane, Hurricane Milton. The term was coined by a former FEMA chief who noticed that the restaurants were able to reopen quickly after storms, which became a sign of the level of damage done. I thought that was great. Okay, how many holes in ones have we got this week? Despite the wind on Thursday, Brad Trader of the village of DeLuna got a hole-in-one on hole number 8 at the Bogart Executive Golf Course. He used a 4-iron. It was his second career ace. Well, congratulations on your hole-in-one, Brad. How about a couple letters to the editor? To the editor, under Florida State Statute 413.08-3, service dogs are allowed at all outdoor public activities, including trails. Some current village signage shows all dogs not allowed, which, if not fixed, could amount to a misdemeanor, and it is against the motto of the village as being the friendliest community in America. I raised this at a recent supervisor meeting, but it seemed to me they were not interested in such a correction. How hard is it to accept that residents are capable of controlling a leashed pet, but it seems outrageous that this type of view could extend to service dogs? That's sent in by Robert Onizer from the village of Collier. Well, Robert, I think you're stretching it a little bit. It seems like people do that a lot when it comes to a law. They take a certain section of that law and they stretch it to other places that the law's not even intended. There is an American for Disabilities Act that supersedes any and all local state laws about service dogs. So if you're blind and you want to do a walking trail and you have a service dog that's registered as a service animal, not some monkey you picked up at a pet store somewhere and you just want to say, oh, it's my service animal, then you're allowed to take that on the path. No matter what that sign says, you're allowed to take it on the path. I wouldn't worry about it until somebody that's in management, somebody that's got the authority to ask you to get off of that path with that dog. Then I would call my local attorney and we would file a lawsuit and we'd go forward with it. To the editor. I have lived in Mira Mesa for 8 years. The number of changes is mind-boggling. There are hundreds of apartments right out back on 466. There's no pool. When the weather reaches into the 90s, where do you think these people are going to go? We have already seen people from the outside trying to use our facilities. How much worse do you think it will be? The Villages has every reason to protect our amenities for us. We pay even those who don't live here all year. It's time that this problem is addressed. I agree that there should be gates at each facility where we can use a key card. That's sent in by Patricia Lateria, Village of Mira Mesa. Well, we spoke about that many times, Latricia, and you're correct. Something's got to be done. I've been in a village, different retirement communities where they use a thumbprint or a fingerprint to open every gate anywhere in that retirement community. All rec centers, the front door, fingerprint. All swimming pools, fingerprint. All exercise area, fingerprint to get in. You could use a card like we do to get in our gates. You could use a card. It's not going to stop it. I'll tell you why. You have a friend that doesn't live here. And she comes to your house, you're great friends, you go shopping together, you go out to dinner together, she's a great friend. You say, hey, I'm going to go up to the swimming pool Thursday. Why don't you come over and go up to the swimming pool with me? That's how it starts. To the editor. For people who disregard the cross-line space between marked handicap spaces, here is an abridged Florida statute. I have an injury disability that causes me to use assistance to walk and need that crossed line extra space to enter and exit my car. By parking illegally in the cross lines inhibits a needy person. Truthfully, we don't need any of this explanation. Everybody took a driver's test. We all know any striped area means no parking, period. I don't care what color the lines are, white, yellow, for fire lanes, all that kind of stuff. It means no parking. People that park there, they just don't give a shit. That's sent in by Donald Simpson from the village of Santiago. Well, I think that's going to be the news for this week. Sorry about it being quick. I don't know if I even have time to edit all the pictures. I haven't even done anything yet. So if they're edited, okay. And they may not be, sorry. So I got to get ready to get out of here. And with that being said, I want to thank any and all of my members, including my Patreon members and my YouTube members, because without them and their help, A lot of this stuff I just couldn't do anymore. And if you want to be a Patreon member, and I do encourage it, after you become a Patreon member, several things will happen. One, you'll get invitations to some of the things that we do is on our Discord. And in order to get the invitation to Discord, you have to be a Patreon member. And I'll send you that link and you get on Discord. I don't know how hard it is to sign up for Discord. A lot of them seem to get on there very, very easily. A lot of them seem to have difficulties. I don't know why. But somebody at the members lunch we had a few weeks ago told me that they said it's a lot easier to get on Discord if you download the Discord app first. I'm just passing that along because I really don't know. I had a hard enough time just setting the Discord up. And I had to get help from my channel manager and his son that's in college. And all of us got on a FaceTime thing to get that thing even set up. And to this day, I don't know all the things you can do on Discord. I try to keep it as simple as I can. I want to keep it basically a way that we can share information and pictures and things like that on Discord, like a chat, like a big private chat. And that's the way I want to keep it, because once you get on there, you only have to sign up once. And as long as you stay a Patreon member, you'll always be able to get on Discord. But as soon as you drop out of Patreon, if they don't disconnect you, Patreon notifies me that you're dropping out of the Patreon memberships, and then I go over to Discord and I make sure, to put it in blunt words, I make sure you're gone. So you can't be part of our Discord family anymore. But we don't want you to go anywhere. We want you to hang around. I mean, if you're having a problem, let me know, and we'll reach out to other members there and see if there's some way, somehow, we can fix things, if we can. And there's no guarantee of that. But like I said, we'll try to help you in any way we can, if we can. If your Discord link expires, because they expire automatically in 7 days from the day that I send it to you, then just reach out on Patreon, send me a message, send me an email saying, hey, I need another Discord link. I'll send you another one. It's no big deal. But please, if you're thinking about supporting the channel, I really prefer Patreon. So with that, I'm going to get out of here and say, hopefully we'll be back in time and do some news quickly, because we're going to have to take a trip to Indiana for personal reasons. And I don't know how long we'll be gone. I don't even know if I'm taking the camper or am I going to take the car, because Buddy's the problem. And so we'll see what we can do. And with that, I'm going to get out of here and say, be well, be safe, take care of your health. Because in the end, that's really all you have.
And don't leave your key in that golf cart.
This week's news is brought to you by my YouTube and Patreon members.